Long ago in a distant land, I, Aku, the shape-shifting master of darkness, unleashed an unspeakable evil. But two foolish podcasters, one wielding a plastic sword and the other a blunt, stepped forth to oppose me. Before the final blow was struck, I tore open a portal in time and flung them into the future, where my evil is law. Now the fools seek to return to the past and undo the future that is Aku. And also rant about toys.
Gotta do that. Back to the past, Samurai Jack. Gotta do that.
Yeah, it's been a while. Couple of weeks. We've been busy.
Yeah, a couple weeks, man. Like, freaking, I work in manufacturing, so schedules over there can get pretty freaking crazy. You might go a couple weeks and have a couple weekends off, and then you might work 28 days in a row.
28 days later.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, and I've been registering for college and all that stuff, so we've both
Awesome.
been pretty busy.
Awesome. So, as everyone knows, Samurai Jack has come back.
Oh, yeah.
And it's been, God, man, how many years? 13 years since the show was canceled?
I think about 12. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe just about 13.
Yeah, September 25th, 04. The
And
last...
everyone was wondering, like, how does it end? Because the last episode of season 4 didn't really, like, close anything. It was just a random adventure.
Don't you hate it when a show gets canceled on just a random filler episode that has no bearing on the main plot whatsoever?
He just saves a baby.
Yeah, he just saves a baby, and there's some pretty cool moments in there, especially when the at the end she's like, "What'd you do to my baby?" And he's like, "He saw many things on our adventure. He's got the spirit of the samurai now." So that's
Samurai
gonna be
Junior.
Yeah, he's gonna be one
The new series.
badass kid when he grows up.
The one good thing to come out of the cancellation of Samurai Jack, though, is that we got that awesome 2D animated Star Wars series, like, right after. Because now Gendy was free to, like, do other projects.
Yeah, and I didn't see any of that. Was that the Clone Wars?
Yeah, it's actually really good.
Is it?
Yeah, like, I rag on the prequels, but it's like, in terms of a lot of prequel, like, material, like, that was really well done. And it's mostly because of the animation, and it's a lot like Samurai Jack. There's very little dialogue, so
See,
there's
that's
not much to get mad at.
That's something one thing I love about this show is just how beautifully everything is animated, and like you said, how there's rarely any dialogue, but like the sounds, man, the sounds on every episode they really put you in the picture, man. All the landscape sound effects and just all of that.
Yeah, it's just pure visual storytelling, and it almost like resembles a comic book, which,
Yeah.
Gendy was inspired by people like Frank Miller, and there's stuff inspired by, like, Japanese manga and stuff like that, so it comes off as, like, it really comes off as, like, a 70s samurai movie, because he took a lot from that age of filmmaking where everything was more avant-garde.
Yeah, and like I really dig that 70s style samurai movie stuff, but then I love the cyberpunk kind of aesthetic that's going on with it. And,
Yeah, like, he did. I was just watching the behind the scenes on the season 1 DVD, and when we were talking about no dialogue, it's like, the reason why there's no dialogue, they're like, we don't really have a writer's room or anything. It's really all the storyboard artists just come together. It's like, okay, what could we do? And it's like, oh, well, I like robots. Let's have some robots.
seriously, like, dude, this show to me also has like one of the best first episodes ever. I mean,
it just tells you everything you need to know with the visuals.
Yeah, dude, you get your brief thing at the beginning telling you about Aku and then Aku comes back and they send Jack off. And for, like, I swear it feels like 10 minutes, man. You're just getting, you're watching him grow up and all his different training, all his education. And
I love how it's, like, not a specific time period either. Like, you go through so much other, like, cultures that none of these could have been at the same time. It's like you got samurai, Shaolin monk, Robin Hood,
Egyptians.
Greeks.
Yeah, man. It is so freaking cool. It just shows you, you know, how badass this dude really is.
Yeah, because he's got, like, the training of the best warriors in him.
Yeah. And then when he first gets to the future, and I love how, like, you know, they really show you that he's never seen any of this stuff before. The sounds are hurting his ears, and
that's hilarious when his ears start pulsing when he goes into the club.
Yeah, dude. And he's like, you know, tripping out at all the different species of aliens and things, but he's being polite at the same time. It's like, you know, it's showing his mannerisms that he learned as he grew up. That he's like, I can't judge these people, you know, they're, you know what I mean?
It's not them, it's me. I'm new here.
Yeah, like I really dig that that aspect of everything. And then, like, you know, he meets the dogs and he trains them all. That whole episode where he's training the dogs and you got the big battle with the robot beetles, that's...
Yeah, when it all goes into slow-mo, that's one of my favorite Jack moments.
That's some amazing shit right there, man. But, so how did you get into Samurai Jack?
You know, it was on when I was a kid, and I remember, like, I wasn't, like, really into it. It was, like, on TV. Like, I remember what Aku looked like because his design was so unique. And I remember it having great animation, but it was nothing really that's like, oh, stop what I'm doing, Samurai Jack is on. But it's something I remember, and I remember it being pretty cool. So when I heard that it was coming back, I'm like, you know, maybe now that I'm older, I can get into this, like, so much more. And it's true. Like, I like how Gendy Tartakovsky says, like, we don't really restrict anything just because it's a kid show. Like, I feel that kids could understand something slower, which is very respectable of him. But then again, it also is a show that gets better as you get older.
Definitely.
So I've been getting into it more recently, and also because every once in a while, Adult Swim did play it. So I caught up on it, like, as I was getting older and stuff like that. And now it's, of course, Adult Swim is playing it because it's a new season.
Yeah, I remember when the show aired, I was like 15, man, and I was watching it a lot back then. I was really getting into it because, like, I was already a fan of Dexter's Lab, because Dexter's Lab came out, I was like 11 years old, and I dug the hell out of that. And then when Cartoon Network was talking about his new cartoon, I was like, alright, this might be pretty cool, you know? And it tripped me out how different from every other cartoon it was. Like, I had never seen a cartoon where there wasn't any dialogue, and it was all about the visuals and the action and the sound effects, man. I was like, there is something special here, man. And I was like really hoping that, you know, more and more people were getting into it, and it kind of seemed that way, but I didn't really know anybody personally that really got into the show like I did. And
yeah, it had like a slow uprise as it went on, and especially after the fourth season, because everyone had questions about it, and then it started getting respected as like a beautiful art piece. But that's what I love too, is that it uses like serious artwork while also using classic cartoony sound effects. That's like, it's a good blend of serious and humor.
Yeah, and that was a thing that even when I first started watching it, I thought kind of clashed. Because the cartoony sound effects, they kind of clashed with the seriousness of the show, but I dug it. I was like, I get what he's doing. I really get...
like, he's keeping it like 1 foot in the dramatic, 1 foot in the comedic.
Yeah, because you get those violin screeches when people smile and, you know, shit like that.
I love that. When he stares...
Hello? Did we lose him? Yo.
Technicalities.
All right, he's back, y'all.
Yeah, Wi-Fi crapped out for a second, but I'm back to the past.
Yeah. So, what were you saying now?
I was saying, like, when you talked about the violin screech, that, I love that sound because in the first episode when Samurai Jack is just staring at that really big dog, it just smiles at him and this violin screech just goes up. I don't know, I find it hilarious. And that's what I was talking about, like, at 1 second he's fighting all these monsters, and the next second you see, like, a dog with a pipe in its mouth. Like, it seems like it wouldn't work, but just the way the animation is done and the pacing of it, that's, like, the key here, is that the show has really good pacing.
Yeah, it really does, because, you know, especially, like, when we talked about that one where he's fighting the robot beetles, and definitely when we get into these new episodes, the the action sequences, you will go on for like 10 minutes. And
you don't get bored.
No, not at all, man. And you're completely sucked in, and then you see everything that's going on. Like, this dude, these guys animate fight scenes better than most modern people can direct live action fight scenes.
Yeah, and when I was showing it to my cousin, you know, there are repeating frames, but, you know, only when it needs to repeat the frames, because it just flows well, even when they are, like, repeating. And then there's action scenes where it's like every frame is new, so, you know, it's a good blend.
Yeah, fantastic. And now, when I was getting into the show, I didn't start meeting a lot of people. This is the weird thing. Like I said, I was 15 when the show came out. When the show was about to be coming off the air, I was hanging out at this, we have this movie theater in town that has an arcade and all this, and I used to hang out with all the goth kids over there. And around the time the show was about to be canceled, I met a whole bunch of the goth kids at the Hollywood Connection. That's what the name of the place is.
Awesome.
And I met a whole bunch of goth kids over there that were in love with the show. But the weird thing was, I was maybe 17, 18 at this point. The weird thing was, like, all of these goth kids, they were like 15. Some of them were 14. Like, they were much younger than me. And I was like, damn, you know, like, all these Samurai Jack fans are like a good 3 to 4 years younger than me. Like, so was most people I knew my age just not into this shit, or what the fuck? But I was like, damn. But yeah, then the show got canceled, and I was like, there goes another great fucking thing lost.
Yeah, and what you were talking about before, like with Dexter's Lab and stuff, it's like, even though I wasn't paying much attention to Samurai Jack as a kid, it's like I was still a fan of Gendy's work because I loved Dexter's Lab, Powerpuff Girls, all that stuff.
Yeah,
and,
definitely.
But yeah, Samurai Jack was one that's like, I watched it, but I like only have vivid memories of it, and I appreciate it more now as I get older. And also because you also sort of got to find yourself with this show, because, you know, when I was younger, I wasn't like thinking about what I want to do when I get older. I wasn't like a huge film buff like I am now, so as I got older and appreciated the art of filmmaking and animation, all that stuff, like, it really resonates with me more now, all the homages to classic films and stuff like that. It's just a giant mishmash, but it doesn't feel like it. Like, it all just works for some reason, and I can't explain why it works. Gendy is just, it's just what he does. He's just really good at blending styles.
Definitely. Now, about a year ago, I believe it was announced that they were bringing Samurai Jack for one final season. It's season 5 that we've all been waiting for. But it would be 50 years in the future. And so somewhere that baby he saved is probably grew up killing small animals and became a serial killer, or he might just be a badass.
Who's minions.
Yeah, right? I'm wondering if we'll ever see that baby. But
How funny would it be? Because in these new episodes, we see this weird samurai thing on a horse. What if it's the baby all grown up?
that would be hilarious. Like,
Influenced by Samurai Jack's revelry.
oh man, so it's 50 years in the future. We're gonna talk about the first 3 episodes. We wanted to do it every week, and hopefully we can continue to do it every week now. But
Yeah,
we're gonna
tonight is the 4th episode.
yeah, and we're gonna go into the first 3 episodes that have aired so far, and damn, if this shit did not start off good as hell, dude.
Perfect intro. And I know how as the episodes went on, they started adding like the intro, but before we get the spoken intro from Jack, we get this awesome action scene of the Beetle bots coming back
Yeah.
and attacking this village of blue people who communicate through electricity on their head.
Yeah,
which I
weird
found
little
really-
antennas. That was kind of cool. When they said
Yeah, it was
thank
really
you.
Cool. How like
Yeah.
they have like the question mark on their head when something like they don't understand. It's a very good way again of visual storytelling.
Yeah. And I kept
then
waiting
all of a
for
sudden-
huh? Whose footprints are these?
Yeah, and then all of a sudden this guy comes rolling in on a bike.
Freaking
dressed
badass
up in all armor,
motorcycle.
like Mad Max meets samurai culture. And we all know who it is, but he's wearing a mask.
Yeah,
and he
dude.
just takes out these beetle bots.
Fucking destroys the shit out of them. And, dude.
I love how the square focuses in on the wheel turning.
Yeah,
as he
man.
jumps over one of them.
And I love the spikes coming out of the wheels, and he's just mowing that dude down. Just,
He's given into technology.
God, yeah, like that's something that I kind of dig is what kind of like what they're hinting at. It feels like, especially at the end of this 3rd episode, because you'll notice. I noticed the theme here definitely. Where all right, when we first meet him, he's got armor. He is freaking decked out, man, and he's got his motorcycle. He's got all these guns and weapons and shit, but he doesn't have his sword. We don't know what happened to his sword yet.
Yeah, we just see one flash of it falling down some pit.
Yeah. And so there's a lot that we kind of have to catch up on. Like they've got to. I'm sure they're going to show it in snippets, or maybe give us a full episode. Maybe he's remembering back to what had happened. But
Yeah, or all we know, they're going to keep it vague, because there is a lot of vague stuff in Samurai Jack, and especially with the tone, I wouldn't hold it against them if they did.
yeah,
I like either option, really.
yeah, like really, like it would be cool to kind of see what happened. But at the same time, let's just say he was fighting somebody and his fucking sword fell down a pit.
Yeah, anything could happen. And also, I don't know if this, it probably wasn't, but there was a comic book series in between this and
Oh.
it's a cancelization. So it's probably not from the comics. Let's be honest, it probably isn't. But
Yeah,
I don't know.
definitely.
But yeah, maybe they could flash back, but part of me feels like that may stop the story a bit, because Samurai Jack started out as like some of the episodes continue after where they left off, but then it went into like each episode is a new adventure. And what I like about this season is it is a continuing story.
Yeah, this one is definitely more serialized than the original show, and I think, in a way, that's a good thing because, we're
Because this is the final adventure.
yeah, this is the final adventure, and we don't have time for Jack to go fucking save some babies. Let's face it.
Yeah. Don't save a kitten in a tree for a half an hour. No, we need to, like, the daughters of Aku are after him.
Seriously, man.
Which, by the way, great concept for villains.
Yeah.
They were great.
Holy crap. So yeah, we get this cool spoken word intro where he's telling us 50 years in the future.
50 years have passed, yet I do not age.
So
And
now,
he's completely broken. Like, he's
Yeah.
a broken character now.
'Cause you can
Not
look
as
at it.
modest as he used to be.
all his
He's
friends are
given up.
gone. All his friends are probably dead.
if you can call them friends, because throughout the whole series, he's just moving on
Yeah.
from place to place.
Every
But-
ally
but-
that he made in the original series, they're all probably dead and don't necessarily
Well,
remember him.
Let me fill you in on a little something. There is a certain character who will come back. I don't know if it's the episode this week, but Gendy did announce that the Scotsman will return.
Fuck yes, dude. The Scotsman was awesome. When you first meet
You
him,
can't kill the Scotsman. You just can't.
dude, when you first meet him in the original series and they're on that bridge, that was some of the most epic shit to me ever.
Yeah, and it's like it flowed comedy and seriousness together, and it was a great fight. And I love how you see their relationship just build. How they just hate each other's guts at first,
Yeah.
and then they both find themselves handcuffed to each other, and they adapt. And he's got a machine gun leg, for fuck's sake. Like, that's straight on. That's like some Grindhouse stuff.
Yeah, dude. Tokyo Gore Police kind of shit.
Yeah.
Like, but so that's awesome. I would love to see the Scotsman again come and help him out. So then we get the spoken intro, right? So if this is kind of cool, we're getting it from Jack this time. In the original series, it was Aku, that whole fucking I used to do all of this, and now I've sent him to the future where I am fucking.
Yeah, part of me sort of wished they kept the Samurai Jack theme in the opening. I know they left it at the end,
Yeah.
like the original end credits. Like, I'm not saying redo the whole Aku thing because that would be a little disrespectful to Mako.
Yeah, old Mako.
But have him say because it's a little weird hearing Samurai Jack himself sing his own lyrics.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, right.
back
Like,
to
that's,
the past.
at first I was like,
Maybe if he didn't say Samurai Jack after it, if he just said,
Yeah.
"Gotta get back to the past," and then just
cut it
the
there.
Samurai Jack title comes on.
Because when he says his own name, it was kind of goofy, but at the same time I was like, oh shit, he heard the song too?
Yeah, it's like in the Rocky movies, how the Rocky theme is in canon,
Yeah.
where like people play the actual theme. But also, Jack is kind of going crazy, so
Yeah.
because there's two versions of him now. He talks to his older self.
Yeah, it's he's definitely losing his mind. He's having visions of his parents, oh, you failed us, blah blah blah. And
You've forgotten your purpose.
yeah, dude, like his fucking ghost him completely wanted him to do seppuku, man.
Yeah, he's like, there's only one way. Yeah, don't you want to do it? Wink, wink.
Oh man, I was like, damn, we're going here.
But
This is Samurai
staying with
Jack.
staying with the first episode, because I kind of want to talk about each of them in one thing.
Oh,
I was
definitely.
very impressed with the first episode because, yeah, it just goes, like, it's not too dark and brooding, like, it's not like DC Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, it was dark, but it
it's
had a
got
lot of
some dark
lightheartedness.
It's dark in terms of the character, and that's why it's good, because he just sees this river of a bunch of, like, zombies, and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, shit, like, he's slipping.
Yeah, so like then we cut to Aku's lair, and you hear a gong, and a baby is born. Then you hear the gong again,
Yeah.
and another baby is born. Then
And this woman is just pushing out, like, 7 babies.
7
Just
freaking
screaming her
babies.
head off to this statue of Aku.
That shit was rad. And then you
Yeah,
follow
I'm like,
their
this is definitely
training.
This is definitely not Kitty Samurai Jack anymore.
Yeah. Like, so you follow their training, and that was some pretty cool shit too. Like,
Yeah, like within the first 10 minutes of the new Samurai Jack, a child is being beaten.
yeah, yeah. And so it kind
Just
of,
looking at sunlight.
if you look at it, it kind of mirrors that first episode of the original series where, you watch Jack get trained all his life, but
And
he
grow
was,
up.
yeah, but he was trained in more, there's education,
Cultural,
there's,
artistic, all that stuff.
Yeah,
Like, he was
just
trained
culture,
nicely,
but
and
we
he's
watched-
welcomed with open arms.
yeah, and then we watch these women just get trained brutally in just the art of fighting. That's all they know. And it's like,
Spartan law pretty much in here.
yeah, your only purpose is to freaking kill Jack.
Yeah, it's like you could die after that for all we care. Like one of the, I don't know all their names because they didn't announce it. There is one daughter of Aku we do focus on because she's the one who like looks at the crack in the wall and looks to the outside world.
Yeah.
And then their mother is pretty much just throws her to the rest. It's like, teach this one a lesson, and she just gets beaten.
Yeah.
And it's and then it's when they're jumping on the freaking stones.
Are
She gets
you
her,
weak?
like- Yeah, she gets her hand stomped on.
God, man.
And
That was
they
some
end up-
hardcore shit.
Then they have archers on them, and one of them literally grabs arrow midair and stabs the archer in the eye,
Yeah, dude. That was
like
rad.
Dark Knight Joker style.
That was freaking rad. So, like, we
And this is what I
see...
love too. Gendy's like, I know kids are still gonna watch our show, but we're not gonna make it too violent, like heads coming off. But there's still some violent shit in the show where I'm like, damn.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised. I knew they were going to go for this. But I was kind of surprised at how much he balanced it out. Because, like, there's some violent shit, but at the same time, like, it's not overly violent. I guess I'm kind of glad that it's just not overly violent. I don't mind overly violent
I guess
shit.
the subtlety of the violence and the fact that we've seen the kiddier version of the show gives it more of a punch.
Yeah. Like, because I don't mind violent shit, but
Neither do I.
But
But
like,
this one has a real impact.
yeah, it's like
he's,
they're
doing
handling it so well.
stuff. Yeah, it's just done really professionally.
Yeah, like there's
It's not like exploitation or anything. It's like only when it needs to be.
Yeah, definitely. And so what happens next isn't this when he meets that freaking that jazz robot?
Merciless, baby.
I swear, dude, when he first started talking, I was like, this sounds like Peter Griffin. Sounds like Peter Griffin
I
trying
think
to.
it was Tom Kenny who played him.
Okay.
The guy who plays SpongeBob.
Okay. Because there was like a.
half the people in Samurai Jack.
Because it sounded like Peter Griffin trying to sound like a jazz dude.
Yeah, he's doing like some Jethro Tull shit, playing his flute.
Yeah, dude, that was so freaking cool. That was so freaking cool.
Who's #1 assassin?
Hell yeah, dude. Like, he's playing his flute and, shit's exploding. He's controlling the swords with old Jack fucking breaks the flute, and now he starts scatting. Just wabba beep 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 balaba doo ba da doo boop boop. And that's making the damn.
I was dying laughing. I'm like, this is so stupid, but so rad.
Yeah, like, I was like, it reminded me so much of, like, the random ass fucking enemies he'd fight in the other one, man. Like, fucking.
Exactly.
Just, the right amount of
Intentionally
goofiness.
annoying people.
Yeah, man, like, you want Jack to kill the shit out of this robot.
But also, I want to keep him around longer because it's so funny.
Yeah, it's like, you want him to kill him, but at the same time, you're like, you could probably do a little more with this guy.
Yeah, maybe he'll be rebuilt or something, but again, it's the final season, so...
Yeah, we're not gonna see him anymore.
But I love how he even acapellas the freaking phone when he types in the numbers.
Yeah,
It's
dude.
"Beep, boop, boop, bop."
That was hilarious.
Hear the new Aku voice, but it's just a couple of lines, so we can't really tell the difference yet. The real difference is in the second episode.
Oh, man. Yeah.
But we'll stay on the first episode. So this
We'll
first
get
action
there.
scene
Oh.
is great.
Yeah, that fight scene was pretty awesome. And
How he mocks Samurai Jack. He's like, "Where's your sword?"
yeah.
Yeah, Samurai Jack's got a gun now.
Yes,
I
he's
was
using it.
surprised to see that. I thought he was... Well, he has a spear now, too. Like this weird automated, like... It's almost like a trident.
There's like a cattle prod on the end of it.
Yeah, I love that shot where he kills the last robot, and he just screams, and you could see the words like, ah.
Yeah, that was rad. That was cool as hell.
And then the little blue person it says Jack with a question mark in there. Or
That
like,
was
Jack,
pretty
thank
rad.
you.
But like, so, alright, what happens next? He kills this robot. That was pretty rad. He fucking just slices him in half with the sword.
Well, in the middle of the fight, he starts having another one of his
Yeah.
iconic episodes where he sees like all these children, and we get this weird samurai Aku-looking thing on a sword in the on a horse in the distance.
You've got that black
And-
samurai. I'm almost, is it like the Horseman of Death? Kind of.
I think we're gonna get a reveal of what he is like at the end.
Yeah, we'll definitely figure him out soon. But yeah, when he's
it might be some like deep Empire Strikes Back shit where it's like it's Jack the whole time.
yeah, wouldn't that be some weird shit? So yeah, he starts
Halfway
talking
through,
to the
he's
rocks
having his
basically.
He's having his episode, and Scaramouche is just like, that samurai is cuckoo.
Yeah. Hey, loco cuckoo, baby.
Yeah. I can't recognize you without your sword and all that ruggedness, baby.
Yeah.
And now he's got a huge beard flowing.
Yeah, man, they got him looking like a black-haired Jesus.
Yeah.
And he said,
Especially in the later episodes when he's getting his armor stripped slowly.
I wasn't digging the beard, but I am grooving to the mane.
Yeah. See, yeah, he totally just slices this guy up in like 4 different pieces.
Yeah, man.
Before that, he had the vision with his father after he cooked and ate a rat.
Yeah. Yeah, he ate.
And that's pretty much the episode. Like, he grooves around a bit, has a psychotic episode, and then he
Yeah.
fights Scaramouche, kills him, and then we see the daughters of Aku finally grown up.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Go kill the samurai!
yeah, all gonna be one face. And
Yeah, they all wear similar masks, and then they just all run in sync with each other.
Yeah, they all just
Out of the
run
way.
out of there.
I also love how Aku doesn't show himself to them, so it's like even he doesn't like give a shit what they're doing.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
man.
their faith for Aku is really in vain.
And so we end that episode. We learn where Jack is now. He's hallucinating. He's been around, and he's just wandering. That's all he can do now is.
Yeah, he's given up hope of getting back to the past, and he really doesn't care anymore. Like he'll fight some people every once in a while, but really he knows he's not getting back.
Yeah, he can't settle down. He's always got to be on the run, and so I thought it was a pretty damn good episode. All in all, like
A very good introduction to this new world of
Yeah.
Samurai Jack 50 years later, and that he doesn't age, which is, I wonder what that's all about.
yeah, I'm wondering too, like because they're saying that it's a side effect of him being from the past or something about the
That he's pretty much a living relic.
yeah, and so that's cool. It allows him to not be an old bastard, but.
Yeah.
So episode 2,
Starts off with the new Aku.
I liked seeing his morning routine. He's putting his little flame eyebrows on, and
Yeah, that they're fake eyebrows the whole time.
yeah, like that was kind of funny. But then in many
He opens his mouth.
like the guy's doing a okay impression, but at the same time he's kind of making Aku a wimp. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the dude who plays Aku in this season was Mako's understudy. So, like, Gendy was fully out about it, that he was like, listen, nothing's ever gonna replace Mako. That's not where, but we think we got, like, what we needed from his understudy, and Mako's family came in and gave him their blessings. Because the dude has replaced Mako in the past in Avatar The Last Airbender.
Yeah. And the
I
dude
think his voice is fine. Like, if you haven't watched the series since 2004, you might not be able to tell a difference, but with people like us who, like, rewatch the stuff, like, analyze it, like, you just know it by heart, you can clearly tell there's a difference. It's not too bad.
yeah.
And I tried to make an excuse for myself that it's been 50 years, maybe Aku himself is getting much older, so maybe that explains the voice change canonically.
But here's the weird thing is like, all right, like you said, it's not bad. It's a pretty spot on impression, but at the same time, he doesn't have that menacing demeanor anymore. Like, there was a much slower delivery. He sounded ancient in the original series.
Yeah.
Whereas in this, it just kind of sounds like a Ren and Stimpy character.
I was gonna say that there's a moment in there when he's giving therapy to himself where
Yeah.
they just go complete Ren and Stimpy. I actually like that.
That was
With
good.
this new season, anyone else, if it wasn't Gendy Tartakovsky, they would have turned Aku into this really dark villain, like this. They would have turned him into like this really serious villain, and I'm glad they still kept him the more comedic villain, because Gendy Tartakovsky has said, like, yeah, Aku's the villain, but he's the funniest character on the show.
Yeah, because, like...
They got his character spot on still. It's just the voice is distracting because, you know, it's not the same guy.
And the thing is, too, is, like, I can't make a real opinion yet because we only had him on screen for, like, a minute or two. But we learn a lot in these 2 minutes. He's
He's very much like Jack, that they've both just given up on each other.
Yeah, like he's tired of taking tributes from the random people that come in there. The scientists have made a brand new epic Robo Beetle, and he doesn't even
He's
give
like,
a shit.
if you want to go kill Jack, fine. Go ahead. Who cares?
Seriously.
He acts like he doesn't care, but I think deep down he's still insecure because he's like, this guy's still around. He's eventually gonna come for me, maybe.
Yeah, like, it's almost like he misses Jack. It's almost like he needs Jack for him to be happy. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
'Cause
it's
you
like a Joker, Batman, Dark Knight thing.
Yeah, like one can't be around without the other. Like, it's weird like that. He's upset that Jack is still alive, but at the same time, it's like he's upset
Like
because
he's not doing anything.
yeah, you know, it's kind of cool. You learn a lot about him in just a couple minutes.
Yeah,
And,
I found comedy of the scene really good, and that's why I got over the voice pretty quickly, because I found it so hilarious when you just go down where he's like, who cares? I don't. And then there's two Akus, and one's a therapist, and Aku is just in the chair.
Yeah, and like that was a good way.
Troubling you.
See, the like his new voice, the kind of reminds me of the guy from Kung Pao Enter the Fist.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
Oh, dude, that movie's hilarious. But it's like, whoa, we trained him wrong as a joke. Like, there's a slightly higher register to his voice compared to Mako's Aku. Like, Mako's Aku just, I was walking down the road and I needed to kill Jack. You know what I mean? But
and
like,
then, well, there were moments with Mako that he did do like some of the higher stuff, and I feel like this Jack sounds a little. To me, I think it's reversed. I think this Jack, this Aku, seems a little more deeper than.
really?
I don't know. It's just because Mako had such a recognizable voice. It's like you could do a Morgan Freeman impression, but no one's gonna sound like the actual Morgan Freeman because there's just something to it. It's similar to that. Like Mako was the Morgan Freeman of his generation.
True that. But like, yeah,
I do love the way the new, and they even make a joke about it. They're like, that was the old Aku. This is the new Aku.
Yeah. Yeah, this is
And,
the new
I do like
Aku.
the way he said eradicated. He's still like on edge. It's like, I thought when I eradicated all the time portals,
Yeah.
I thought he would just die. And then they both yell die, and it gets all Ren and Stimpy styled. I was laughing.
Yeah, I thought it was a really cool scene. So like, I really can't complain because it was only about 2 minutes of Aku, and we damn sure didn't get any Aku in the next episode, and we didn't get any Aku for the rest of this episode. So I mean, it's gonna be a minute before we really see him in action. Like, this was just kind of there to show
The
us.
appetite, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's like, this is the voice. Let's see what people think.
Yeah, definitely. But I
And
thought it was a great
and
scene.
then it's like a total tonal shift because then we go back to Jack.
Yeah, and damn, this
And,
is
what's
this
it
is
called?
where
Another
I'm
thing is,
getting
like,
into.
The animation for this one still keeps the Jack style, while also there is a style change a bit. The animation has gotten more like
There's a more sharpness to it.
yeah, and especially when Jack is on screen. When Aku's around, it totally goes back to like classic Jack. But with when you actually go with the Jack storyline, it turns into it's more sleek because this time it's digital 2D animation.
Yeah. And you can, and I think it looks beautiful either way. Like, it still looks like the old cartoon, just, cleaner,
Just
I guess.
50 years later, and for an older audience, and yeah, cleaner.
But, so yeah, what happens next? Where we see Jack, this is when he's following the smoke, right?
I think so. I'm trying to remember. What I remember is that he's driving on his motorcycle, and we keep cutting back to this story about the
wolf and them crazy tigers. Yeah, he is following the smoke.
And that's pretty much like the symbolism for the story, that this wolf is going through the same thing that Jack is going through.
Yeah.
And when I first saw it, I thought this was like an ancient like tale that maybe Jack was told as a child, but then we see the wolf later, like the two storylines. And I like how they save it for the next episode, how they never really explain the wolf story. They just sort of leave it up to you, because you easily can get it from the visuals that the wolf is meant to be Jack, and the tigers are meant to be the daughters of Aku.
Yeah, the tigers are fucking this wolf up. The wolf is getting some hits in there, but the tigers are fucking that wolf up, man.
Yeah, the tigers just sink their teeth into his side, and then it's just bleeding out the side.
And so Jack is following this smoke, and next thing you know, he sees like a tripwire or something, and he runs into it with his motorcycle, and it blows his damn bike up. And the daughters of Aku are just going all over the place, beating the shit out of him. And he can't see them. And so he's shooting at him.
And then Jack just comes up with a giant machine gun.
Yeah, big-ass machine gun.
Just packing. Like he was Michael Jackson in the Smooth Criminal music video.
So, like, this is the theme I'm talking about with the first 3 episodes here. He started off with all this armor, all this killer weaponry and badass motorcycle, and now he's losing it all. Like, he lost...
Yeah, he's slowly getting stripped. Like, by the 3rd episode, he's in his underwear.
Yeah. And it's like...
He has to resort back to his original training.
Yeah, definitely. Because he's kind of, like you said, he is given into the technology, and so he's using guns to make up for his swordplay, and
but it's just not the same. Like, he tries blowing them up with bombs. Like, he takes a whole belt of bombs and then ignites them as he runs behind it, which was a great shot.
Yeah, definitely. And
but then he ends up going into this... he ends up hiding in some rock, under some rock.
Yeah,
and this is where we get his younger self, who's tinted in blue.
Yeah.
And I love this shot. It's like very... I don't know, like it reminds me of like a Vietnam movie, just him hiding in this bunker and just waiting for someone to strike.
Yeah, that was really good. And,
yeah, it was very intense. And then his younger self is like, pretty much saying, why don't you just kill yourself? Like, Aku hasn't shown himself. You really have no reason to be around anymore. All the time portals are pretty much gone, so...
Yeah, like, he's like, this is the only way you can reclaim your honor.
Is by, like, harakiri or seppuku.
Yeah, seriously. Cut your damn
and he's
stomach open.
telling his conscience to shut up. He's like, no, I'll find a way.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna find a way. So he wants to run to this temple.
And these daughters of Aku are faster than light. Like, you can't see them coming.
Dude, they are bad ass. To me, like, they're some of the more capable minions that Aku has had, like, ever.
Yeah, in a long time.
Yeah.
And they, again, like I said, they're in vain. Like, Aku never told them to go after him. They just believe that. They just look at this statue for, like, 50 years.
They were just raised on this. Like, this is their entire purpose. And...
Yeah. And then we get this excellent shot where he's like, I can, like his younger self is like, you can't make it to the temple. They're going to get you. And then he just bolts and makes a run for it.
Yeah.
And then we get this great shot that almost reminds me of like the last 300 movie. That's like the lightning strikes. Then we just see the daughters of Aku running in the rain in slow-mo.
Yeah, that was cool.
It's a great cinematic shot, but he makes it into the temple.
Yeah,
he actually outruns them.
When he's in the temple, that's some of the greatest shit in this whole episode to me is the blackness, and then you got those little light bugs. They'll light up just a little bit.
It's very intense.
Yeah.
And you don't like, and then there's that scene where they're just going around all the temple, all the halls, and they can't see Jack, and he's like in the wall or something.
Yeah, like he's hiding in that crack, and he starts slipping away, and then they make it into that little throne room, and he's hiding in one of the coffins, little sarcophagus.
That was a very intense scene, and the music in that part is very great.
Yeah, that's another thing about this show. The music is fantastic. And I like that they have kept up with that in this new series because like it feels like the show never went away.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. After the first episode aired and it went to the end credits and you had the original Samurai Jack theme with the picture of the eyes, I'm like, is it 2004 again? Like it just feels like no time has passed.
Definitely.
Like all the 12 years just seem to be like nothing. It's like, well, Jack's back.
And one stylistic change that I will praise is one that you and I both agreed was pretty cool on the old one, but I like the fact that the cartoon sound effects are gone.
That's true. I actually didn't realize that. You know, it worked for the older episodes, but there really isn't. Yeah, I realized that just now.
Yeah, there are none of those cartoon sound effects are there, and so everything. The wind,
the tone feels more.
The atmosphere, like so you don't have that slight clash. Like I said, it clashed in the original, but it worked. It made it different. But now that the cartoon sound effects are gone,
serious warrior, and he ends up in this goofy world. But now he's accustomed to the world now. It's not as goofy as it used to be.
Definitely. And so
now look, the new episode, the next episode's gonna have like bonk and all that shit. Like he's gonna be like blinking his eyes. It's gonna be like blink, blink. And you're gonna be like, God damn
it. Yeah. So we got this great scene, man. Like the music, the atmosphere, just everything in this temple is very foreboding and.
Yeah, I don't know if it's this episode or the ending to the next episode, but there's one where the music was a big homage to Ennio Morricone's The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly music. So I'm going to have to rewatch that and hear for it because I'm like, it's the same music that Metallica comes out to.
Yeah.
There's a song in the soundtrack that's supposed to like mimic that.
Yeah, I know. I definitely know what you're talking about.
The ecstasy of gold.
But so like they pretty much catch him, and he bursts out of the coffin, or they bust him out of it, and you get
and then
this.
They chain him to the wall.
Man,
it's brutal.
You got this amazing freaking. The rest of the episode is fighting. The rest of the episode is straight up fighting, and some of the coolest fighting in a cartoon I've ever seen. Like the colors and the way it's blacked out, and you see basically their silhouettes in white, fighting in black, and they kind of
Frank Miller inspiration.
Yeah, and then they kind of reverse that on the next episode, which we'll get into. Is you got a black background and you got their white silhouettes fighting, and he's getting his ass whooped. He's getting fucked up.
Yeah, really bad. Just he gets chained to the back of one of the coffins, and like they just put pressure on his chest, and he just screams, and then the coffin breaks.
Yeah,
and they just drag him over like they're Scorpion in Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, dude, they are getting close to just destroying his ass. And
yeah, honestly, if it wasn't for the third episode, like taking the turn that it did, I honestly thought they could have actually killed him.
Yeah, like they were, like I said, they were some of the most capable villains on this show I've ever seen. Like, they really freaking tear him up. And
Now, this is the episode where he does end up killing one of them.
yeah, finally he gets the better one. He cuts her throat, and
Yeah, he slits his throat, and I'm like, yeah, Gendy, not too violent.
and yeah,
Even
and
though
that's when
I
I
was like, shit.
that's
Like,
when I realized, I was like, oh shit. Is this like because I couldn't remember from the old series, but I was like, is this really the first time he's ever killed another human? And
Yeah, it is, because I was watching the first episode, I'm like, well, wait, what about Aku's minions from the past? But
They were all
like human
robots.
creatures made out of black smoke.
Yeah,
and then the
like-
rest were robots.
And so they call back to that eventually, but so he kills her, and then he finds that he's been stabbed, dude, and
Yeah, he
he's
has a knife
bleeding
right in
out.
his side.
He is freaking bleeding out, and he's standing there at this edge. There's a river. The women are coming
And
after him.
He hears the daughters of Aku, the rest of them, their footsteps coming.
Yeah, that was some great freaking like sound effects and just visuals, man.
It was
And
like, do I die or do I jump? And I
Then-
don't remember if he leaves behind a bomb or someone lives, because I know there's an explosion as he
yeah,
comes
it's
out.
his. If you remember the jazz robot, his little tuning key.
Yeah, that knife he has that responds to sound.
Yeah,
And
he
explodes.
Jack just starts beating it on the wall, and it's making that ring. And
Yeah.
by then you already know what's going to happen because you saw that jazz robot hit that thing and shit's exploding. So
And also,
Jack,
whenever like a ring gets higher and higher, you kind of like at this point you kind of just know like, oh, it's gonna explode.
yeah, and so Jack just falls into the river, and the damn temple explodes, and you see him washing down the river, and then that's the end of that episode. And holy shit, that one was good. Like,
And another thing I gotta add is I love how they brought back the Cartoon Network Studios logo, where the two, like the cartoon and the network, would open up in the middle, and you'd have an image there.
oh yeah.
Like, they don't do. If I'm not mistaken, they don't do that anymore.
But one thing I'd say too is like, you know, when they don't open up with the theme song, in a way, that allows you to get more action in the show itself, because every episode
Because
of
you
the
know it doesn't take as long. to
yeah,
get to.
you got a long intro from Aku, and then you got a good 30 seconds of the theme song, and so now they basically you get an extra 45 seconds of story time.
And when it comes to this animation, 45 seconds counts for a lot, really.
Yeah, it really does. It really does. Like you can get, you could easily get, you know, several more scenes shown in there, and so to me it kind of works. And I'm glad that they kept the theme song, you know, for the end credits, because that's a rad freaking song.
Yeah, it's great. So I'm happy to hear it back. It was very... It put a smile on my face that they kept the same picture of his eyes. But
Witcha!
It's still the same series.
Yeah,
And
man.
I love how they kept it going. Like, that's another reason why I felt no time has passed, because the moment the end credits start going, again, it's as if it was every other episode. They just call it episode, like, this is like 52 now or something like that, and they have it in, like, Roman numerals.
Yeah. And so the next episode begins.
And he's just in a river of blood, pretty much. Like, I don't know how he didn't die from blood loss.
Yeah,
I guess
man.
'cause it's a cartoon.
Yeah. But he's bleeding
But he's
out,
leaking
man.
like an open faucet.
And he washes up, and he'll pass out, have a crazy vision, so he leaves his handprints and blood trail all in the woods, and he finds
Yeah.
this little cave, and he's just sitting in the damn cave, man.
And he pulls the knife out.
Yeah, he freaking pulls that knife out, man. And he starts having hallucinations again. He's seeing that crazy dark samurai. He's seeing his parents again, and then his younger self.
But now he looks much more demented.
Yeah, much more demented. Like, now he's tainted, man, because now he's finally killed somebody.
Yeah, that's the thing too. Like, you see him shaking in the cave, and the whole time he's gripping his gut. You're supposed to like think it's from the wound, but the reason he's really feeling like this is because it's the first human he's killed. He really doesn't care about the wound in his stomach. He cares more of the fact like, what have I done?
Yeah, and so his younger self is telling him, hey, that's the first human you've killed. You've killed
Yeah,
robots,
and it's like
mountains.
they're still coming for you. Like you're gonna have to kill more of them. So what are you gonna do? Are you just gonna let them kill you, or are you gonna survive?
Yeah, that was some pretty crazy shit. And then,
And meanwhile, the daughters of Aku find the blood prints.
yeah,
And
they're
it's the
searching
first
for
time
him.
they've ever been outside, pretty much,
Yeah.
because they see a deer.
They see a
And they're
deer.
like, they're like, what is that thing?
Yeah, they're like, they didn't tell us there were other creatures out here. And then they see
And
this
they're
other
like,
deer.
There's a bigger one coming, and they're like, oh, it's going to destroy the weak one. But then the buck and the doe, they start, rubbing noses, and they're like, what the, like, what is love?
Yeah,
Don't
she's
hurt
like, I don't like this.
me. Yeah, she's like, what is this? What the fuck is this? They should be killing that one.
So I really liked that because it was like,
It was like comedy, but also tragedy, because these women don't know what life is, pretty much.
yeah, all they know
They don't
is
kill.
fighting and killing, and they don't know anything besides what was in their temple, And they finally
Yeah,
come
just
across
that one creepy statue of Aku's big eyes.
yeah, they come across this peaceful little deer, and they don't know what to do.
They don't know what to do when the two deer start kissing.
They're like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah, they're like, this is tripping me out, dog.
So they're following that blood trail, man. And so then the wolf comes back. The wolf that got his ass whooped by those tigers.
And Samurai Jack is covered in blood by this.
Yeah,
point.
this is rad. This is a great freaking animation to me where,
They're just staring each other down, and they're both covered in blood.
yeah,
And
it's just black.
They're both like, should I fight? And then they both realize that they're both like not ready to do this shit. They're both in
Yeah.
trouble. They might as well like hang with each other.
Yeah, and I
For the time.
love that shot, dude. They're both, it's all just pitch black, and you've got basically their silhouettes are drawn in the blood dripping down their body, and like, it's so freaking awesome looking. But like you
Yeah.
said, like, they're too wounded to even fight, so they're like, hey, I'm gonna share this cave with you, man. Is that cool?
And they do. They share it for a good couple of days.
Yeah, fucking Jack freaking stitches
together.
himself up.
And then he's cold in the middle of the night, and the dog actually like wraps himself around him.
Yeah, like, that was pretty cool. Like, you see him and the dog kind of just bond, over the next couple days.
But they still butt heads with each other too, like because he's licking the dog's licking his wounds, and Jack has water, and he splashes the water at the dog, like thinking it'll heal the wounds, and then the dog just starts barking at him, like, hey, like, what the fuck do you just do that for?
Yeah, man, that dog's like, dude, you fucking asshole. But
So it was a very well thought out relationship, and then the dog just leaves.
yeah, the wolf is just like, all right, man, I'm feeling better, and you're feeling better. I'm gonna go do wolf shit. I'll see you later.
I wonder if the wolf's gonna come back. Probably not.
I almost bet you he kind of does. I almost
I
bet
bet
you.
he's gonna end up riding that wolf.
That'll be freaking awesome. But I'm almost
I
willing
want
to
him
bet
get
that
his
wolf is
sword
gonna
back,
come back
for him
and
to just ride that wolf all the way to his temple, like he rode to Aku's temple, like he rode the horse in the first episode.
yeah. So that'll be
But
pretty
now the
rad.
daughters of Aku are on his tail, and yeah, it's like the moment he's healed up, he's just right back in the mess.
Yeah, and now he is completely stripped of all his technology except for the little sword, the little knife that was stuck in him. And does he
And,
still
yeah,
have
just
his?
in underwear in the middle of the snowy woods.
Yeah, and so like now he's come out of a cave looking like a black-haired Jesus. Could this symbolize his resurrection in a way? You know what I mean?
I guess. 'Cause, yeah, he's slowly turning back into the. I wouldn't say he's gonna completely go back to the old samurai we all know and love. I think because he's still. There's definitely some psychological issues, but he's trying.
Yeah, and
But at the same time, you also see him like dying inside by the end of this episode.
yeah, like, dude. So
The ending of this episode is very morbid.
I love that. We'll get to that in a minute. But
Yeah.
he has a flashback of him being a little kid, and he's playing with his toys, and him and his parents are, I guess, they're on the King's Road in a way, and they get attacked by
and
these
they're like, Emperor, your
bandits.
time is up. And these people outside are pretty much saying they're going to kill his father, which I love how they never give their parents names. He's just Emperor.
Yeah. And Emperor
fucking kills him.
Kills the shit out of him while Jack watches through the little blinds, and Jack gets blood on his face.
Of, like, the Kill Bill flashbacks.
Yeah. And
the blood splats in his eyes.
And so...
And then there's that awkward moment where he's washing off Jack, and they just look over at the
blood-soaked clothes.
And the sword, and the look on Emperor's face is just like, fuck, the psychology bill's gonna be through the roof.
Yeah, I guess I gotta tell you sometime.
Yeah, I gotta tell you some motivational shit to make this, like, seem like it was worthwhile, but really you saw some fucked up shit, kid.
Yeah. But, like, so... He tells these bandits that, you know, all your choices led you here and all my choices led me here, and I'm going to give you a new choice. You can leave here and live, or you can stay and face your destiny. And those people got their asses handed to them.
And then he remembers those words.
Yeah, he remembers those words. And he finally...
gives the Daughters of Aku a choice. And this is how he justifies killing humans.
Yeah, and so... It's like that was a fantastic moment, because, like, you see him kind of just deal with, fuck, man, I killed a person. And
yeah, it's like, you know, and I still, like, although hope is lost, I still want to live.
Yeah, yeah.
So I guess it's fight or flight, you know.
Yeah, it's kill or be killed, man.
You have to do.
And so this is great right here. This entire sequence, the snow is falling, and like I said, that the first battle with these women, it's with a black background and white silhouettes. This one,
it's reversed.
Yeah, complete white background, because everything's covered in snow, and you don't see Jack because
he's in the trees, just echoing through.
Yeah, and he says to them,
"Now, like, my choices led me here, and so did yours, and, you know, I could give you a new choice." And then they're like, "You could leave now and live, or stay here and face your destiny." And they're just like, "Our destiny is your death."
Yeah. And so it's like, all right.
He's like, "Very well." And he jumps out, he fucking impales them. Like,
yeah, man. Straight up kills one of them. Like,
he's like, "Well, okay."
Yeah. Straight up kills the shit out of one.
My initial reaction, I saw that and I was like, fuck.
I was like, damn. He's not dealing with that problem anymore.
No hesitation, just dead.
Yeah. And so this is a great sequence. He's just beating the shit out of them. And because it's snow outside, they're dressed in black, man. So they can't freaking hide.
Out like a sore thumb.
Yeah, they are out of their element, man. So Jack, growing up the way he did, he knows how to use the environment around him. So he's hiding in the snow. He's hiding in the trees. You know, he's doing, because these women were trained in a little temple with the bare minimum of shit. They were just taught how to.
He and Jack's been all over the world.
Yeah, these women were taught to just run into it and freaking kill it, whereas Jack was taught patience and, you know, all that
strategy.
stuff. And yeah, strategy. And so Jack is finally using a lot of his knowledge that he gained over the years to one up these women, and he's whooping their ass a little more, but they're still freaking getting some hits in too. Like, it's a pretty tough ass battle. And
yeah.
And so he knocks a couple of them off, and I think there's maybe 3 of them left, and they're on this freaking tree hanging off a ledge.
Yeah, they chase him up onto a fallen log or tree on a ledge.
Yeah.
And he's just left there at the end.
And it's like, okay, there's 3 of us and 1 of you, and now he's like,
he's pretty much walking the plank.
Yeah, and this moment is like that moment where it's like, okay, he's lost his technology, his armor, everything, his guns, and now he's like, you know what? I'm just gonna drop my little knife here. He drops his damn
he throws
knife.
His knife away and puts up his dukes, and I'm like,
yeah.
How are you getting out of this?
I'm like,
and then the one daughter of Aku comes after him, knocks her the fuck out, right across the face, breaks her fucking mask, and she spins out and falls.
Yeah,
and
dude.
I'm like, shit.
Yeah, like, now it's like, this is like that moment in The Predator when Arnold Schwarzenegger just takes off all his shit, and he's like, you know, I'm gonna fucking...
Come on, do it! Kill me! I'm here!
Kill me now! come on, do it, kill me now. And like it's like such a cool scene because it's like I don't need this shit, you know, to freaking fight y'all. This is it right here, you know.
Yeah, like all these weapons are fucking babies' toys, man. I got my hands, right? You want to catch these hands?
And so one lady gets it, and then the next
and he
one
throws
comes.
another one like over his shoulder, just shoves her off.
Yeah, and so you got the final one, and this one's a badass. I thought the lady with the chain was freaking awesome.
Now this lady with the chain has to be the one they mentioned before, the one rambunctious one. Because they're the one giving her the most attention.
She's the one who had like most dialogue
around him. They wrap the chain around him, and it has like a spike at the end, like a little rotisserie blade or something, like a round, like a circle blade.
Like a little saw.
Yeah, and it pretty much like cuts his arm. Like it definitely leaves a wound, but he just ignores it and lets it wrap around. He just tugs her towards him.
Yeah, he tugs her, and then they fall off the log, and the chain's holding them up, and they're doing some.
And you could just see. This is where I was saying how you could just see Jack dying inside, because he did sort of come up with an excuse to kill humans, but he still doesn't like doing it. And while this woman is just not cursing him out, but just saying you'll die, she keeps saying you'll die. You're like, you can't hide from us. We're gonna get you because.
And he's just standing there. He's just listening to it.
He's just staring off into space with the 1,000-mile stare.
He's just like, I'm tired of your shit.
Lets the chain go.
And he's just like, I'm tired of your shit. Shut up now. Rip.
He's like, none of this had to happen. Why'd you have to do this to me? And
yeah, it's
now
like,
I feel like an asshole.
Because the thing is like, he justified killing humans, but he you could tell that he's upset that they made that choice.
Yeah, he's like, I was gonna let you go, but now you're gonna die. I have to live with this.
Yeah, and so I thought that was a great shot, man. Like you hear she's hanging, and you just hear her freaking saying all this garbage, and he's just staring off.
Yeah, just totally like Mr. T in fucking Rocky 3, just talking smack to him.
Yeah, and he just unwraps the chain around his arm and lets her go. And but then
how the episode ends, you think he's just gonna walk off, but no, the log gives way beneath him, and he ends up falling too.
Yeah, so he ends up falling too. So, question being, all right. Obviously, he's not gonna die from this fall.
So does that mean one of the daughters of Aku will still live?
That's what I'm wondering. At least one might still be alive. And watch this. There's so many different ways this can go.
Who knows? Maybe they'll both be chained together now or something.
Yeah,
like that,
they might team up or something and sort of learn to deal with each other.
But part of me gets the feeling they're all dead, which was a great fight scene. But at the same time, it's the commercials made these women out to be the big bad guys.
Yeah, they really did.
It's amazing, but at the same time, it's also bittersweet because it's we could have done more with them. But fuck, was that a great action scene? So you can't really get mad at it. Yeah,
I'm not mad at all, but it would be cool if at least one of them survived, and then she starts fighting along with Jack and all that, and she's almost like his protege. He trains her in more smart ways and.
So this weird samurai figure in his visions has got to be something, because Aku is definitely more of a side villain this time. Well, he always sort of was. He always stayed in his lair and sent people after him.
Yeah, he was always like your Dr. Claw or your Shredder.
Or your Emperor Palpatine.
Yeah. I'm going to sit down and, make everybody else do the hard work.
Yeah, and I'll just rule with an iron fist.
But
now that we went through all 3 episodes, what are some of your predictions for the rest of the series? How do you think this is going to go down now?
Oh, man, all right. There are so many different ways.
I just dropped that bomb on you.
Yeah, there are so many different ways this can go. At this point, after seeing these 3 episodes, you're gonna, I believe, we'll slowly see Jack become the samurai he was always meant to be. And we're gonna see him come out of this slump, but it might be over a couple episodes. You know what I mean?
That's one thing. I'm thinking, because you've just brought that prospect up as we were talking, like, through the episode, that he's going back to, like, I didn't really think of it like that, but it does make sense that maybe he's reverting back to the Samurai Jack we know and love. But on the other hand, I think this slump, he's going to try to justify, but I think this slump's going to get worse. But where I think this is leading, I really think by the end of the series, Jack is probably going to die.
That's a huge possibility. But
I
watch
think that's
it.
what they're leading to.
Watch it be like, all right, he finds a way to basically erase everything that happens. Like, watch him find a way where he can go back in time and defeat Aku before Aku comes to the village when he's a kid, and then
But it makes him die in the process.
yeah,
much.
basically
But
that
this
version of
saved.
Jack will just disappear because he no longer exists.
So maybe both of our ideas just clash there, because he was in a slump in this series, but then he becomes the samurai he needs to be. And he finally feels like himself again and sacrifices himself, and he honestly doesn't care anymore. This is all he wanted to do. This was his life. He's okay with dying now.
Yeah, because he's
as
gonna
long as the future is saved.
yeah, he's gonna grow up in his own time eventually. You know.
Yeah.
So that's one possible way it can go.
For all we know, maybe Aku and Jack will reach a mutual agreement and just fucking leave each other alone at this point.
Yeah, because it's like, you know, old Aku said he eradicated the all the time portals, but he can
He could still send them back.
Yeah,
Like,
he
Aku
can
is
make
literally
some
his
more.
only method now.
He can make some more. There's just so many ways it can go, and we know the Scotsman's coming back. Will that be for one episode, or will he be around a couple, or?
Part of me gets a feeling, like I said, you can't kill the Scotsman, but the more I think, whenever I say you can't kill someone, like creators love doing that shit. Like writers and directors love like just throwing curveballs. This might be the end for him. Who knows?
Yeah, you know, he might come out, hang out with Jack, and get reacquainted, and then they go into battle. Maybe he.
Yeah, I wonder what he looks like this time around, because he definitely had to have aged.
Yeah, because he was already pretty up there in age when you first meet him. Now it's 50 years
so
later.
it's like,
He's got to be in his 70s or 80s.
yeah, so he can't be as like good as a warrior as he used to be.
Yeah.
Hell,
And-
for all we know, he doesn't even have that machine gun leg anymore. What if he has like just a wooden stick?
Yeah.
I hope we see the rest of his family again too, because that episode is hilarious where they have to go save his wife, and
Hell
she's
yeah.
just the meanest woman, but like has like charisma.
Mm-hmm.
That she's pretty much like just busting their balls the whole time of how sloppy their rescue is,
Yeah.
and then she ends up killing just as many like bots because they called her fat.
Yeah, like that was pretty rad.
I'm not fat, I'm stout.
But like, I wonder if
But,
like,
yeah, the possibilities for this series are endless.
yeah.
Really.
And I'm almost sure we will get the sword back.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. We got to get the sword back somehow. I don't know where it ended up, but someone's got to retrieve it.
Because isn't the sword the only thing that can defeat Aku?
Yeah, it's a magic sword. It's the only thing that can hurt him.
So they're watch like Aku's had it all along, and he just says, you know what, fuck this, and
Let's have a fair fight.
he just gives it back to Jack.
Yeah. That would be great. I really want to see them square off. That's for one final time.
Yeah,
Because,
you didn't see it all that often in the original series, and
yeah, and whenever it did, it always ended up like with Jack losing. And we all knew it would end up like that because it's not this series ending yet. But now that we know it's the series ending, I just want to see it end with a one-on-one Aku fight. But again, I'm also expecting the unexpected, that maybe we won't get that. Maybe they're going to throw us a curveball. So, like I said, possibilities are endless.
yeah, like
But, what were you going to say?
I actually kind of lost it.
Damn.
I'm not
I
a
don't know, but
smart
I am
person.
definitely enjoying this series because Cartoon Network has been bringing back a lot of their shows. They brought back Teen Titans and Powerpuff Girls, and
Well,
it hasn't really been working for me. Yeah, they brought back Powerpuff Girls with a new cast and stuff. I don't even think Gendy has anything to do with it.
they kind
It's
of.
not.
I don't like any of these new Powerpuff Girls, man.
Yeah, neither do I. I tried to give Teen Titans Go the benefit of the doubt for doing something different, but no, that show's bad. So Samurai Jack is the one show that like came back. Because also, I'm glad it's not a reboot. Like,
Yeah.
I know they've been trying to do a movie for a while with J.J. Abrams, but then Star Wars got him all busy.
Yeah.
But that's when Gendy was like, you know what, the movie's not going to work. Let's just finish the story.
But with like you were saying with Teen Titans Go, I can watch that as like goofy stoner shit because
Yeah.
they've got some. If they were different characters, like if they weren't the Teen Titans, I think the show would be fantastic because
Yeah.
some of the
Because
plot
some of the
lines,
comedy is good, and the voice cast is great.
the plot lines are so ridiculous and funny.
But I love how like they're self-aware too, because it's probably not the writers' fault. They were probably like given the idea by the studio, like do something like this. So there was this one episode where they just took all the fan backlash and they tried to make like good humor, and it was always like British comedy. They're all sipping tea with like their pinkies up, and it's like all political humor.
Yeah, like
They're trolls. They know people don't like the show, so they're like, "Fuck it,
We're just gonna run
make
with this
fun
shit."
of ourselves."
Like, so there are so many things I
there's an
like
episode
about.
where they go back to the original style for a couple of minutes.
Yeah,
Or they
and-
watch the original show.
Yeah, it's like, nah, this is too serious.
Yeah, they're like, well, this is what we used to... No, they actually end up liking the show. They're like, yo, this is what we used to look like back then? And wait, it ends on a cliffhanger? Like, what the fuck?
Like, I really like what they're doing with it, but at the same time, I'm like, damn, if this was some different characters, it would be some really, really good shit. Because that
Yeah, it's
episode
just
with...
weird to see the Teen Titans done like this. I don't know who thought it would, like...
Yeah, like the episode where they what was it? The leprechaun. God, man, something about the damn leprechaun's up in there trying to find his wife, and like somebody stole the gold or something. Damn it, dude, I gotta see that one again.
I don't even, like, watch the episodes and pay attention much. I just, like, I watch Adult Swim at night, I end up falling asleep, and I wake up and it's on.
Like, but with the Powerpuff Girls, I think they kind of ruined it because
They completely recast everybody, even though Tara Strong could still do a Bubbles impression like it was nothing.
yeah, and
It's not even an impression, it's her voice.
yeah, and it's not even the recast. It's really they changed everything, man. Like,
Yeah, a lot of the Cartoon Network shows have a similar art style now. Like, this is like same thing with the new Scooby-Doo, too. Like, they completely overhauled it to, like, what's now the norm
yeah,
for the Cartoon
and
Network art style. It's from,
there's
like,
just
I
too
forgot
much.
which show it was, but
there's
there
just
was
too
one
much
show that did that
popular
art style,
culture.
and now everyone's doing the art style.
But it's just there's too much popular culture in the new Powerpuff Girls with the phones and the twerking and just the weird random shit. You know,
Yeah.
it's the old show was just about these little girls that can beat the shit out of some really cool bad guys, you know, and that's all it was. But now it's like it's just, you know, they're doing the same thing
It's
to
just
Powerpuff.
jokes. It's just stupid because, again, they're not like Gendy Tartakovsky. They don't give kids credit for, like, smart stuff. Unless,
Yeah.
like, you consider Steven Universe, but I haven't really watched much of it. But from what I've seen, that's a pretty good show for kids, you know?
Yeah. And there was
But,
something
like,
else I
all
was
the-
gonna.
All the stupid stuff, like, I don't know, like, kids are smarter than they seem.
There was something else I was gonna touch on. Damn it. Yeah, Scooby Doo. The best Scooby Doo cartoon that has been new that I have seen is they only did 2 seasons and it was called Mystery Inc. And they're all on Netflix and I highly recommend it because they're a little more serialized and it's basically a reboot of the show, but it takes place in modern times, and you find out that like
They all still dress like they're in, like, the 60s.
yeah, they all still dress like that, and They really do play up their character roles, but to me in a more funny way.
Than like the live action movie.
Yeah,
tried to
definitely,
films.
definitely. And another little tidbit is Matthew Lillard, who played Shaggy in the movies, has been doing Shaggy in the cartoon for years now. And
That's awesome, man.
Dude.
Have you ever seen SLC Punk?
dude, I love that movie. Salt Lake
Matthew
City.
Lillard just rocks it in that. And then he was also Without a Paddle. That's a
Yeah,
funny movie.
I like that movie.
So there
but
you go, because I remember coming across a YouTube channel where they go over like a lot of like celebrities that people haven't like heard from. Like, whatever happened to like the dude who played Napoleon Dynamite? And I remember seeing one where like, whatever happened to Matthew Lillard? Where there you go, now we have the answer.
but see, the cool thing is
and he has a good Shaggy voice.
yeah, like the movies were awful, but I was like, damn, Matthew Lillard plays a pretty decent live action Shaggy. But now him doing the voice in the cartoon, it is spot on, dude. It is much better than he grew into that voice fantastic. But the Mystery Inc. cartoon is like there's this big overarching story of like this old Mystery Inc. from like the 50s, and you find out that like Fred's parents were a part of it and all this, and like it's much better than any of the other Scooby-Doo cartoons that have come out in recent years. And
I remember growing up watching the original, and they did one like "What's New Scooby-Doo." I remember
yeah, that one I didn't like.
It's like a pop punk. Like,
yeah,
that's
that
the thing with pop punk. Like, for the most part, I'm not a huge fan of pop punk, but goddamn, do they have some catchy like riffs? Like,
Yeah,
it's
they
the
do.
simplest shit, but it sticks with you.
yeah, like it sounds like All American Rejects doing a fucking Scooby-Doo song.
Exactly.
But like I didn't like any of them, but the Mystery Inc. definitely check that out on the Netflix. Like it only lasted
And
2
in
seasons.
in terms of the live action ones, I much preferred the made for TV live action movies because I feel like it got the characters better than the first two live action movies.
There was a
even though I
made for
remember
TV
watching
live
the
action
second
one?
a lot as a kid. What?
There was a made for TV live action movie.
Yeah, there were two of them, and I remember watching the first one and being pretty okay with it. Like, it kind of shows how everyone met, and stuff like how Scooby and Shaggy met and stuff like that.
I had no idea this existed.
Like, it probably is shit if I watch it again, but I remember being pretty satisfied with it.
Damn.
Yeah, Cartoon Network did a live action version of it, like, I don't know, like a really long time ago. And the only reason I remember is because Halloween time for Cartoon Network back then was the shit.
It really was.
It was amazing.
When I was
They
growing
played
up,
Goosebumps.
Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon, man, the best at Halloween time.
Because, and even to this day, like nowadays, maybe sometimes around Halloween they'll rerun like Billy and Mandy and stuff like that. But back then it was the greatest shit out there because they were playing like reruns of Goosebumps, which, you know, is a silly show, but for a kid it's like fucking sick.
Hey, I loved it when I was growing up, man. When I was fucking little and it first came on Fox, I was watching the hell out of that.
One of the catchiest theme songs for a kid show.
Yeah.
And then they would play like Billy and Mandy and all that stuff, and all the Halloween episodes, like for all the Halloween specials, like the Ed, Edd and Eddy one was great. Yeah, Cartoon Network around Halloween time was great.
Definitely.
But, so that was Fresh from the Future, Samurai Jack's season 5, numbers 1 through 3.
Yeah.
And I have to say, I'm pretty impressed with the show. I really enjoy it. I think it's it probably might be the best season, like in terms of how it's made and the story.
Yeah, they're like this. There's no bullshit so far. Like it's, you know, you could get
Right
away
down the
with
brass
that.
tacks.
You could get away with that in the original series when they thought the show was gonna last a good 6 years. You know, you can get away with bullshit episodes. And
Yeah, with some filler here and there. But now they're like, this is the last season. We're going to tell you an ongoing story, and we're going to end it right. Hopefully they do. I
Yeah.
think they will. I have
Yeah.
faith.
I'm
Because each episode just keeps getting more and more layered, and it keeps building and building, and it's gonna hit some kind of a crescendo.
yeah, it's definitely hitting all the right beats, and you know they know you definitely know the story they want to tell at this point. You know, you have a feeling that they know exactly where they're going to go. They know what the
And
end
you
game
can tell
is.
there's like heart in it, that they actually care about what they're doing, and they're trying to they're taking the greatest care and love.
Yeah, definitely. There's absolutely no bullshit.
Favorite episodes so far?
Well, out of the three, I really can't pick, man, because I would say probably episode 2 and 3. Like, the first one was good.
Yeah, the first one was good for an intro. I might say 3, but I'm sure with each episode as it goes on, like I said, it's probably gonna get better and better. So,
but in a way, like, you can't
sort of mood.
You can't have one without the other, because like with that whole theme of him being geared up, and then at the end of the third episode, he's completely lost every weapon, you know, and it's like he's a badass with all these weapons, but it's like, no, I'm even more badass, freaking stripped the hell down, you know. So
Yeah, I guess it's less of a TV show and more like a movie in parts, pretty much.
yeah, definitely.
But I will be tuning in tonight for episode 4.
Yeah, and sadly, I don't have
By
cable.
the time this is uploaded.
I don't
Yeah.
do cable, so I'm gonna have to watch it on the internet like tomorrow or the next day. But next weekend we'll try and get on the review for episode 4, and maybe another Fresh from the Basement if we have time.
Yeah.
But where can we
We're kinda
find?
we're kind of stuck in the future right now because apparently Aku sent us.
Yeah, Aku fucking sent us to the damn
judging by the
future.
intro.
We are fucking fresh from the fucking future.
I don't know where the fuck we are right now, but we decided to sit down and talk about fucking Samurai Jack
Yeah, man, we're just chilling. There's some robots
in the middle
outside.
of the snowy woods. It's cold as fuck, dude. My nipples are hard.
Yeah, I can hear a big ass trash smasher riding down the road, crushing all the garbage.
We should totally end this podcast with the end credits version of the Samurai Jack theme.
Whatcha? So, I need you to make a picture, you know, like you did for Fresh from the Basement.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need you to make me one of
I'll
those.
be on that.
I need you to make me one of them and send it to me, and I'll get to work on the theme song as soon as we get off of here. But where can we find you in the future, Frank?
Dude, depending on what year it is right now, YouTube's probably gone.
yeah, especially in the past before we were sent here, especially some of the garbage that's been happening to YouTube. Recently to the viewers.
Yeah. I don't know. Is Keemstar still around in this time?
Oh my God, that garbage.
Is he working with Aku?
Fuck, he probably is, dude.
What is up, Drama Alert Nation? Oh fuck, there he is. Oh god,
Oh,
he's in
no.
the distance.
Oh
he's,
no.
He's a fucking gnome. You could find me in the past at youtube.com/user/the FDV It's all lowercase, no spaces, and I do movie reviews. I do whatever pops into my head. I've recently been doing a lot of videos about King Kong because I saw Kong Skull Island and I liked it, and I'm just a huge King Kong nerd. And yeah, I have Facebook under my name, Frank Del Vecchio, and Twitter, although I don't really use it that much anymore. Mostly, YouTube is the main hub.
True that. And you can find me on Bloody Chuckle Studios on YouTube. Just type in Bloody Chuckle Studios and you should find it. You can find my music on SoundCloud.com/Bloody Chuckle Studios, and you can find our other videos and podcasts on rtgomer.com as well as horrorphilia.com.
Horrorphilia. And there's a lot of great podcasts there too. You know, the two greats, the Skeleton Crew and Banana Laser.
Yeah, and
Great shows.
I love
Great
Skeleton Crew, love Banana Laser, but damn it, my favorite's got to be that Mysterious Boom.
I have to check that out still.
If you're into like ghosts and just paranormal stuff, that's some good stuff. We actually had Kevin Schote from Mysterious Boom on our Slipknot retrospective a couple weeks ago.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, so that was pretty fun. And
I need to catch up on the Skeleton Crew, because the Invisible Man one has been like on my phone for a while, but I haven't listened to it yet. Because the two podcasts that I've been like listening to at work recently, because they like every week the comedian Bill Burr does his podcast every Monday and Thursday, so that's what's been like given, because it's always updating. So I'm like, oh fuck, I gotta keep up with this. And every once in a while, I'm a huge fan of Bret Easton Ellis and his books, but he also does a podcast. And it's a little more on the serious side, but he's a very interesting man to listen to. But the Invisible Man one, I have to listen to, because that's a great movie.
Yeah, that podcast was good. That one was really good, because I love the old Universal movies, and Invisible Man is one of my favorites. And so, yeah, that's a good podcast episode right there.
You can also catch our podcast not only on Horrorphilia and RT Gomer, but as he said, on the I'm messing up too now, the Bloody Chuckles Studio YouTube page.
Yeah.
And we should have this up soon, but while we're in the future, I'm going to go see if the new Tool album is out.
Yeah, that's a good idea, because last I heard, before we were sent here, that he was just gonna do a Perfect Circle album.
Dude, it probably still hasn't happened. There's probably like 8 other Pussifer albums out.
Yeah, yeah. But hey,
I don't know. Let's go search for the nearest record store. Maybe Aku didn't put like a sanction on music. Hopefully, it's probably a bunch of electronic shit like those raves in that episode in the 3rd season.
But so. You can't go wrong with Pussifer, though. I love me some damn Pussifer.
Is good, but it gets to the point where it's like, we know what we're here for. Like, just give us what we want.
Yeah. And, he was... Supposedly that new Tool was coming out in 2017, but just the other day, boom. New Perfect Circle album coming your way in 2017. Like, damn, Maynard.
I don't know. Maybe in this future we'll have another Cranberries record that isn't just acoustic versions.
Yeah. With only 2 brand new songs. Slight disappointment, but what can you do?
But you know what? They do this. They do this as like every once in a while, just as a reunion, because they're all busy with their lives, pretty much.
Yeah.
We'll get more into that. We're planning to do a podcast on the Cranberries.
On the Cranberries, y'all.
And I'll be honest, I listened to the Linger acoustic version, and they do sound good. Part of me thinks they sound a little better than the originals, because they've all evolved as musicians.
Oh, yeah. So I mean, you're going to get re-recorded versions of these old classics that are 25 years old.
It's just a giant throwback album. They even brought back the couch. But
yeah.
I don't know, maybe.
That's the coolest thing about the album, is they're sitting on that old-ass couch that you see for the first 2 album covers, and they're in that same position. I believe it's from the No Need to Argue position.
Yeah, they're in the No Need to Argue position, because they were a lot more dark and brooding on the everyone else is doing it, so why can't we?
Yeah. But you look at the album cover and you're like, look at these moody teens. But then you listen to the album and you're like, wow, this is some really light shit.
Yeah, like they took their moodiness and made it like pleasant to listen to. It's not just like, I hate my parents, so I'm going to go to the mall now.
Yeah. I'm going to go listen to Nirvana.
You guys like Nirvana, right? They're popular.
Oh, shit. But all right, man. I guess we will see you people later. Tell us what you think about Samurai Jack. What do
We're
y'all...
going to find our way back to the past and into the basement, because I'm not used to being outside right now. I'm a little scared.
Yeah, I got to get back. Back to the past.
Back to the past.
Samurai
Fresh
Travis.
from the future.
So, what do you guys think about Samurai Jack? Did you watch it? Did you like it? Are you watching any of these new ones? Do you like them? Let us know, y'all. Come on.
Yeah, dude, let us know what we think. Let us know what we think, I said. No, I know what I think, goddammit.
Like,
You can't tell me what I think. What are you, a coup?
I had to send him away.
He was smoking in my lair, and it's already filled with flames, you know. He was getting high as fuck, dude, and I don't like that smell. So I was like, you know what? Get out of it. And the other one was hitting me with a plastic sword, and it didn't do shit.
You know, we're sitting here doing all these Mako impressions, but we have not once said anything about the whole Nostalgia Critic backlash against him and all the Mako fans getting on him. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do. It's on the back of my mind, but I felt like it's past so much.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah, so I just ruined that.
It's kind of like a funny little joke from the past. I like Mako, so I like when someone makes fun of him. Like, I get it. Like, I got what the Nostalgia Critic was going for, but so I wasn't like backlashing at him. I don't know. It was just a silly little joke. It was just the problem was the timing of the joke was off because he just died.
Yeah, and the joke was
and he
that
didn't know. Doug Walker didn't know.
yeah, he sounds like
he died of,
Splinter
like, some
smoked a whole
throat
bunch of
complications, and then he made
Marlboro.
like a smoking joke.
Yeah, oh my god! But it was a funny joke to me. Hell,
Yeah, it's funny in retrospect, but like it's funnier now because it's like the awkward timing of it. That's like, wow, you really dug yourself into a hole.
yeah. Oh shit!
It made for that good joke wherever he put his hands together and Mako's face would just show up with a choir.
Yeah, that was great.
Ooh. I love Mako, so
Yeah, he's the shit, man.
may he rest in peace. And you know what? All good luck to the new voice, because it's definitely hard to fill Mako's shoes, and he's not gonna like fill his shoes in like perfectly, but he's given it his all, so I respect him for what he's trying to do. And again, Mako's family said he sounds like Mako's daughter was like closing her eyes in the booth and just listening, and she's like, yeah, that's my father.
Damn.
So I guess if the family approves, who am I to judge?
Seriously. It will take some time to grow on me. I got to see him in some more scenes as opposed to that one quick bit.
Yeah.
I mean, so, but shit, I'll talk to you in a little while, dude. I'm going to get all these posted on, y'all.
Yeah, and I'll go work on picture, and we'll try to find our way out of this wooded land of snow.
Yeah.
And yeah, this podcast, I don't know, it was a little shorter than usual, but still like breaking on the 2-hour mark.
Yeah, and we also talked about 3 episodes, so when we get to one episode an episode...
Yeah, it'll probably be much quicker as long as we don't ramble, but this is a fun podcast to do. It's just cool to chill and talk.
Yeah, it's cool to chill and talk, definitely.
That's the new motto. It's cool to chill and talk.
So we'll see you guys later.